Shalom, readers. Welcome to a brand new week. It is week 19 of the Bible in a Year Live Tanakh project. And today we continue our story in Isaiah. Today we'll read chapter 36 to 39. And this week we're reading from the Names of God Bible. Let's dive in. The Lord rescues Judah from the Assyrians. Isaiah chapter 36. In Hezekiah's 14th year as king, King Sennacherib of Assyria attacked all the fortified cities of Judah and captured them. Then the king of Assyria sent his field commander with a large army from Lachish to King Hezekiah at Jerusalem. He stood at the channel for the upper pool on the road to Laundryman's Field. Eliakim, who was in charge of the palace and was the son of Hilkiah, Shebna the scribe, and Joah, who was the royal historian and the son of Asaph, went out to the field commander. The field commander said to them, "Tell Hezekiah, this is what the great king, the king of Assyria, says. What makes you so confident? You give useless advice about getting ready for war. Whom then do you trust for support in your rebellion against me? Look, when you trust Egypt, you're trusting a broken stick for a staff. If you lean on it, it stabs your hand and goes through it. This is what Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, is like for everyone who trusts him. Suppose you tell me we're trusting Yahweh or Elohim. He's the God whose places of worship and altars Hezekiah got rid of." Hezekiah told Judah and Jerusalem, "Worship at this altar. Now make a deal with my master, the king of Assyria. I'll give you 2,000 horses if you can put riders on them. How can you defeat my master's lowest ranking officers when you trust Egypt for chariots and horses? Have I come to destroy this country without Yahweh on my side?" Yahweh said to me, "Attack this country and destroy it." Then Eliakim, Shebna, and Joah said to the field commanders, "Speak to us in Aramaic, since we understand it. Don't speak to us in the Judean language, as long as there are people on the wall listening." But the field commander asked, "Did my master send me to tell these things only to you and your master? Didn't he send me to the men sitting on the wall who will have to eat their own excrement and drink their own urine with you?" Then the field commander stood and shouted loudly in the Judean language, "Listen to the great king, the king of Assyria. This is what the king says. Don't let Hezekiah deceive you. He can't rescue you. Don't let Hezekiah get you to trust Yahweh by saying, 'Yahweh will certainly rescue us, and this city will not be put under the control of the king of Assyria.' Don't listen to Hezekiah, because this is what the king of Assyria says. Make peace with me. Come out and give yourselves up to me. Everyone will eat from his own grapevine and fig tree and drink from his own cistern. Then I will come and take you away to a country like your own. It's a country with grain and new wine, a country with bread and vineyards. Don't let Hezekiah mislead you by saying to you, 'Yahweh will rescue us.' Did any of the gods of the nations rescue their countries from the king of Assyria? Where are the gods of Hamath and Arpad? Where are the gods of Seraphaim? Did they rescue Samaria from my control? Did the gods of these countries rescue them from my control? Could Yahweh then rescue Jerusalem from my control?" They were silent and didn't say a thing to him, because the king commanded them not to answer him. Then Eliakim, who was in charge of the palace and was son of Hilkiah, Shebna the scribe, and Joah, who was the royal historian and the son of Asaph, went to Hezekiah with their clothes torn in grief. They told him the message from the field commander. Chapter 37. When Hezekiah heard the message, he tore his clothes in grief and covered himself with sackcloth and went into Yahweh's temple. Then he sent Eliakim, who was in charge of the palace, Shebna the scribe, and the leaders of the priests, clothed in sackcloth, to the prophet Isaiah, son of Amoz. They said to him, "This is what Hezekiah says. Today is a day filled with misery, punishment, and disgrace. We are like a woman who is about to give birth but doesn't have the strength to do it. Yahweh, your Elohim, may have heard the words of the field commander. His master, the king of Assyria, sent him to defy Elohim Che. Yahweh, your Elohim, may punish him because of the message that Yahweh, your Elohim, heard. Pray for the few people who are left. So King Hezekiah's men went to Isaiah. Isaiah answered them, say this to your master. This is what Yahweh says. Don't be afraid of the message that you heard when the Assyrian king's assistants slandered me. I'm going to put a spirit in him so that he will hear a rumor and return to his own country. I'll have him assassinated in his own country. The field commander returned and found the king of Assyria fighting against Libnah. He had heard that the king left Lachish. Now Sennacherib heard that the king, Tirachah of Sudan, was coming to fight him. When he heard this, he again sent messengers to Hezekiah, saying, tell King Hezekiah of Judah, don't let the God whom you trust deceive you by saying that Jerusalem will not be put under the control of the king of Assyria. You heard what the kings of Assyria did to all the countries, how they totally destroyed them. Will you be rescued? Did the gods of the nations which my ancestors destroyed rescue Gozan, Haran, Rezeph, and the people of Eden who were in Telassar? Where is the king of Hamath, the king of Arpad, and the king of the cities of the Seraphaim, Hena and Ivia? Hezekiah took the letter from the messengers, read it, and went to Yahweh's temple. He spread it out in front of Yahweh and prayed to Yahweh. Yahweh Sabaoth, Elohim of Israel, you are enthroned over the angels. You alone are Elohim of the kingdoms of the world. You made heaven and earth. Turn your ear toward me, Yahweh, and listen. Open your eyes, Yahweh, and see. Listen to the entire message that Sennacherib sent to defy Elohim Chai. It is true, Yahweh, that the kings of Assyria have leveled every country. They have thrown the gods from these countries into fires because these gods aren't real gods. They're only wooden and stone statues made by human hands. So the Assyrians have destroyed them. Now, Yahweh or Elohim, rescue us from Assyria's control so that all the kingdoms on earth will know that you alone are Yahweh. Isaiah's prophecy against King Sennacherib of Assyria. Then Isaiah, son of Amoz, sent a message to Hezekiah. This is what Yahweh Elohim of Israel says. You prayed to me about King Sennacherib of Assyria. This is the message that Yahweh speaks to him. My dear people in Zion despise you and laugh at you. My people in Jerusalem shake their heads behind your back. Whom are you defying and slandering? Against whom are you shouting? Who are you looking at so arrogantly? It is Kodesh Yisrael. Through your servants you defy Adonai and say, with my many chariots I'll ride up the high mountains, up the slopes of Lebanon. I'll cut down its tallest cedars and its finest cypresses. I'll come to its most distant heights and its most fertile forests. I'll dig wells and drink water. I'll dry up all the streams of Egypt with the trampling of my feet. Haven't you heard? I did this long ago. I planned it in the distant past. Now I make it happen so that you will turn fortified cities into piles of rubble. Those who live in these cities are weak, discouraged, and ashamed. They will be like plants in the field, like fresh green grass on the roofs, dried up by the east wind. I know when you get up and sit down, when you go out and come in, and how you rage against me. Since you rage against me and your boasting has reached my ears, I'll put my hooks in your nose and my bridle in your mouth. I'll make you go back the way you came. And this will be a sign for you, Hezekiah. You will eat what grows by itself this year, and the next year you will eat what comes up by itself. But in the third year you will plant and harvest, plant vineyards, and eat what is produced. Those few people from the nation of Judah who escape will again take root and produce crops. Those few people will go out from Jerusalem, and those who escape will go out from Mount Zion. Yahweh Sabaoth is determined to do this. This is what Yahweh says about the king of Assyria. You will never come into this city, shoot an arrow here, hold a shield in front of it, or put up dirt ramps to attack it. He will go back the way he came, and he won't come into this city, declares Yahweh Sabaoth. I will shield this city to rescue it for my sake and for the sake of my servant David. Yahweh's angel went out and killed 185,000 soldiers in the Assyrian camp. When the Judeans got up early in the morning, they saw all the corpses. Then King Sennacherib of Assyria left. He went home to Nineveh and stayed there. While he was worshipping in the temple of his god Nisroch, Adramelech and Sharazar, his sons, assassinated him and escaped to the land of Ararat. His son Esarhaddon succeeded him as king. Hezekiah's illness, chapter 38. In those days Hezekiah became sick and was about to die. The prophet Isaiah, son of Amoz, came to him and said, "This is what Yahweh says. Give final instructions to your household because you're about to die. You won't get well." Hezekiah turned to the wall and prayed to Yahweh. "Please, Yahweh, remember how I lived faithfully and sincerely in your presence. I've done what you considered right." And he cried bitterly. Then Yahweh spoke his word to Isaiah. "Go and say to Hezekiah, this is what Yahweh Elohim of your ancestor David says. I've heard your prayer. I've seen your tears. I'm going to give you 15 more years to live. I'll rescue you and defend this city from the control of the king of Assyria." Then Isaiah said, "Take a fig cake and place it over the boil so that the king will get well." Hezekiah asked, "What is the sign that I'll go to Yahweh's temple?" Isaiah said, "This is your sign from Yahweh that he will do what he promises." The sun made a shadow that went down the stairway of Ahaz's upper palace. "I'm going to make the shadow go back 10 steps. So the sun on the stairway went back up to the 10 steps it had gone down. King Hezekiah of Judah wrote this after he was sick and became well again. "I thought that in the prime of my life, I would go down to the gates of Sheol and be robbed of the rest of my life. I thought that I wouldn't see Yah in this world. Even with all the people in the world, I thought I would never see another person. My life was over. You rolled it up like a shepherd's tent. You rolled up my life like a weaver. You cut me off from the loom. You ended my life in one day. I cried out until morning, as if a lion had crushed all my bones. You ended my life in one day. I chirped like swallows and cranes. I cooed like doves. My eyes were tired from looking up to heaven. I've suffered miserably, O Adonai. Please help me. What can I say now that he has spoken to me? He has done this. I'll be careful the rest of my life because of my bitter experience. Adonai, people live in spite of such things, and I have the will to live in spite of them. You give me health and keep me alive. Now my bitter experience turns into peace. You have saved me and kept me from the rotting pit. You have thrown all my sins behind you. Sheol doesn't thank you. Death doesn't praise you. Those who go down to the pit cannot expect you to be faithful. Those who are living praise you as I do today. Fathers, make your faithfulness known to their children. Yahweh is going to rescue me, so let us play stringed instruments. We live our lives in Yahweh's temple. Chapter 39. Hezekiah shows the Babylonians his treasures. At that time, Baladan's son, King Merodach Baladan of Babylon, sent letters and a present to Hezekiah. He had heard that Hezekiah had been sick and had recovered. Hezekiah was so happy with them that he showed the messengers his warehouse, the silver, gold, balsam, fine olive oil, his entire armory, and everything in his treasury. Hezekiah showed them everything in his palace and every corner of his kingdom. Then the prophet Isaiah came to King Hezekiah and asked, "What did these men say? And where did they come from?" Hezekiah answered, "They came to me from the distant country of Babylon." Isaiah asked, "What did they see in your palace?" Hezekiah answered, "They saw everything in my palace, and I showed them everything in my treasury." Isaiah said to Hezekiah, "Hear the word of Yahweh, Sabaoth. Yahweh says, the days are going to come when everything in your palace, everything your ancestors have stored up to this day, will be taken away to Babylon. Nothing will be left. Some of your own descendants will be taken away. They'll become officials in the palace of the king of Babylon." Hezekiah said to Isaiah, Yahweh's word that you have spoken is good. He added, just let there be peace and security as long as I live.